Welcome to Lesson 24, when not to use articles. We don't use articles when we use non-specific plural count nouns. When we use non-specific plural count nouns, such as men, women, children, cars, toys, tables, chairs, dogs, fleas, and thousands of other nouns, we don't use articles. Here are some examples. Men prefer women who are independent. What men? Men in general. No one specific. What women? Women in general. No specific women. If I had said, the kind of men who prefer independent women are the kind of men I admire, I would be speaking about a specific kind of men, and I would have to use the article the, because the subject, men, is now a specific type or kind of men. That is, the kind of men I admire. In the sentence, drive carefully, cars are not toys, there is nothing specific about the cars, nor the toys. What cars? What toys? The number or kind of cars or toys are not mentioned. Who they belong to or what they are used for is not mentioned. They are non-specific. So I don't use articles. In the sentence, Fords are the cars I buy, I use the article the because I was talking about specific cars. The cars I buy. Here is another example. Every year, bulls run wild in the streets of Madrid. There is no article with the noun bulls because the sentence is talking about any bulls, bulls in general. However, if I say the running of the bulls is an annual event in Madrid, I am being specific. This sentence is talking about a specific event, and the bulls mentioned in this sentence are specific. They are the bulls used in the running of the bulls. Okay, let's practice. See if you can find the sentences which are wrong and correct them. I will give you a moment to look them over. Here is a couple of examples. Baking the pies is a baker's job. Is this correct or incorrect? Baking pies is a baker's job. Pies are not specific. The sentence talks about pies in general, so the article the is not used. Then we have, the pies you ordered are over there. Are there any mistakes? Let's take a look. The pies you ordered are over there. This is correct because it is specific. They are the pies you ordered. Look at these three sentences. Are these sentences correct? A, the children are little people. Is this sentence correct? Let's take a look. Children are little people. The sentence is talking about children in general. It is not specific. All children are little people. People and children are non-specific plural count nouns. B, the dogs have the fleas. Do you think articles are needed? Let's look. Dogs have fleas. The sentence is talking about dogs and fleas in general, nothing specific. C. They are the people I told you about. Do you see any mistakes? Let's take a look. They are the people I told you about. This is correct because the people are specific. They are the people I told you about. We don't use articles with non-count nouns. When we use non-count nouns, such as milk, water, juice, rice, bread, furniture, happiness, breakfast, clothing, there isn't a quantity or given amount, so there is no need for an article. Here are some examples. She puts orange juice in her cereal. There is no quantity or amount specified. If you specify a quantity, you need an article. Here is an example. She put a cup of orange juice in a bowl of cereal. A cup and a bowl are quantities or amounts, so the article a is needed. I eat rice every day for breakfast. If I said how much rice I ate and made breakfast a specific event, I would have to define them with articles. Here is an example. For the breakfast meal, I have a bowl of rice. In this example, I specified breakfast by saying breakfast meal, and I used an amount of rice, a bowl of rice. But the sentence, I eat rice every day for breakfast, uses non-specific, non-countable nouns, so there are no articles. He walks during daylight hours. Daylight isn't a specific period of time. You would have to make it a specific period of time before using an article, or you would have to say something specific about daylight, like the daylight hours are between dawn and dusk. Okay, let's practice. See if you can find sentences which are wrong and correct them. I will give you a moment to look them over. Feel free to back up or pause the video if you need more time to look at the answers. Here are a couple of examples. First we have, I like drinking water while eating chocolate. What do you think? Does it need articles? I like drinking water while eating chocolate. This sentence is correct. Water and chocolate are non-count nouns and don't need articles. The next practice sentence is, I want the peace and the quiet. Are there any mistakes? Let's take a look. I want peace and quiet. This sentence was wrong. Peace and quiet are non-count nouns, so they don't need articles. Look at these three sentences. Are these sentences correct? A, you have to be creative to work in the advertising. Does this sentence need the? Let's find out. You have to be creative to work in advertising. Advertising is a non-count noun and doesn't need an article. B. I paid for the car with cash. Are there any mistakes? Let's look and see. I paid for the car with cash. Car is a count noun. It needs an article. Cash is a non-count noun and doesn't need an article. This sentence is correct. Finally, we have C. The hydrogen and the oxygen atoms combine to make water. Do you see any mistakes? Let's take a look. Hydrogen and oxygen atoms combine to make water. These are non-count nouns. They don't need articles. Number 3. Proper names of people, most holidays, geographic areas, companies, and languages do not use articles. A. Proper names of people. Here are some examples. It was John who called this morning. Mary has to go to work. I gave Lucia an extra orange to give to Mr. Johnson. Practice. Pause the video, get a piece of paper, and write 3 sentences using proper names. B. Holidays. Articles are not used before the names of holidays except for July 4th. It is always referred to as the 4th of July. Its official title is Independence Day. Other holidays are New Year's, Martin Luther King Day, Chinese New Year, Shrove Tuesday or Mardi Gras, Valentine's Day, April Fool's Day, President's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter Sunday, Cinco de Mayo, Mother's Day, Flag Day, Father's Day, Labor Day, Halloween, Election Day, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas. Here are some examples. What do you want for Christmas? Happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart. On Mother's Day, I take my mother out to dinner. Now, pause the video, and on that same piece of paper, write 3 sentences using holidays. C. Geographic areas. Articles are not used for many countries, states, cities, towns, and single continents. Single lakes and single mountains don't use articles. You will notice I said many countries because there are exceptions. Here are some exceptions. The United States is also called America because it has a plural form, 50 states. So we say the United States. But America doesn't use an article. Netherlands has 12 provinces and is called the Netherlands. The Philippines has over 7,000 islands. When both North and South America are referred to, we say the Americas. Rivers take an article. The Hudson River, the Volga, the Mississippi. More than one mountain uses the in its name. For example, the Adirondack Mountains. Here are some examples of geographic areas. Lake Ontario and Lake Huron are two of the Great Lakes. Great Lakes is more than one. Have you been to Ecuador? I am from Wilmington, a tourist city in North Carolina. I live in the little town of Hampstead. The is placed before the noun town. There is no article before the name of the town, Hampstead. I lived in Asia. Mauna Kea in Hawaii is the tallest mountain in the world. Mount Everest is higher in altitude. The is used before tallest mountain because it is specific and important. It is the tallest. Okay, now pause the video and write one sentence for each type of geographic area: country, state, city, town, continent, single lake, single mountain. D. Companies. Don't use articles before company names unless the company itself uses an article. Here is an example. The Hartford Group. They call themselves the Hartford Group. The is part of the company's name. Don't use articles before company names unless you are comparing or differentiating two or more similar companies. An example of this is the McDonald's fast food business owns more prime real estate than any other fast food business. Here are some example sentences of not using an article before a company name. My favorite search engine is Google. I prefer Port City Java coffee over Starbucks coffee. McDonald's is a franchise business. Okay, this is where you pause the video and write 3 sentences using company names. E. Universities and colleges. If you say the names of universities or colleges, such as Yale, Harvard, Vassar College, you don't use an article. If the word university is the first word in the name, use the. For example, the University of North Carolina. But Wake Forest University doesn't have an article before it because the word university isn't the first word in the name. Here are some examples of correctly using or not using an article before a university or college. I graduated from the University of Purdue. Stanford is a very good university. I have a degree from Cape Fear Community College. Okay, let's pause the video and write 3 sentences using the names of universities and colleges. F. Languages. Don't use articles before names of languages unless you are selecting a specific language from 2 or more languages. Here is an example. I think the Spanish language is easier to learn than the Chinese language. Here are some example sentences of using languages in sentences. I am studying English. Many people in Ukraine speak both Ukrainian and Russian. In France, the people speak French. The is used before the noun people, not the words France or French. Now we can pause the video to write 3 sentences. Number 4, places, locations, streets. Streets in some locations and places do not need an article. Unless you are using a street name as an adjective, you don't use articles before the name of a street. For example, take the 3rd Street exit. In this sentence, 3rd Street is used as an adjective describing the noun exit. We use articles before many places and locations, such as the bank, the post office, the police station, the subway, the train station, the bus station. We go to the park. However, we say we go to work and we go to school without using articles, but we go to the hospital, the doctor's office, or the clinic. Some of these you will have to learn through experience and memorization. Here are some examples of not using articles. I have that movie at home. I go to work Monday through Friday. I live on 4th Street. Now, if you give an exact address, use the preposition at. I live at 122 4th Street. He lives in East Greenville. Try writing 3 sentences to help you learn the process. Number 5, school subjects. You don't need to use an article for subjects you study at school, such as math, geography, business, history, science, philosophy, sociology, business administration, or whatever the course's name happen to be. Of course, if you say something like, I am taking a business course, you use an article because the word business is being used as an adjective to describe the noun course. Some examples of not using articles with school subjects are you taking science this semester? I like math. History is about old stuff that happened a long time ago. Now you can pause the video to write 3 sentences using school subjects. Number 6, sports. Sports and some other physical activities do not need an article. There are common physical activities which require articles. Some examples are going for a walk, a jog, a run. But there are others which don't require an article, such as, I like arm wrestling. Do you skate? Here are some sentences using sports which don't require articles. He plays professional football. My favorite sport in the Olympics is bobsledding. I think baseball is boring. Okay, it is time to pause the video and write your 3 sentences using sports without articles. Number 7. Nouns with numbers. Numbers used before a noun are determiners, and you don't use articles with other determiners. In general, don't use articles with numbers. Here are a couple of examples. He is a 42-year-old man. 42-year-old is used as an adjective phrase to describe man, and man is a count noun, which needs an article. He is 42 years old. 42 is a determiner being used with the noun years, and old is an adjective describing the noun years. Is there a gate 122 in this airport? Gate is a count noun and requires an article. Where is gate 122? Gate is used as an adjective describing the noun 122. Here are some examples of not using articles with numbers. He lives in apartment 12. The plane is leaving from gate 122. Interstate Highway 40 goes past Raleigh, North Carolina. It is pause and write time. Write 3 sentences using numbers. Number 8. Articles are not used with possessive pronouns. If you are using a possessive pronoun, don't use an article. Here are some examples. He is driving my car. They are telling their story. Its ball is its favorite toy. All right, pause a moment to write 3 sentences using possessive pronouns. Number 9. Articles are determiners and they are not used with other determiners. Determiners are modifying words that determine the kind of reference a noun has. Determiners introduce a noun and provide a direct meaning without providing specific information about the noun, such as size, color, emotional state, etc. Some determiners are this, that, these, those, all, another, any, both, each, either, enough, every, less, many, more, most, much, neither, other, several. Here are some examples of using determiners. The house is new. However, when we use a different determiner, that house is new, we don't use an article. The house tells us it is a specific house, and that house also tells us it is a specific house. I am not taking a train, nor am I taking a plane. I am taking a bus. But I can use different determiners to say the same thing. Take neither train nor plane. Take this bus. I could have used articles as the determiners, but not both articles in other determiners. I could have written or said, don't take a train and don't take a plane, take the bus. A man must have his dignity. However, with a different determiner, every man must have his dignity. Well, that is all for this lesson. Thank you for learning with me. I hope to see you on lesson 25. I will leave you now so you can write 3 sentences using determiners other than articles.